1. That part noticed danger where others felt normal. The part of you that never fit in often wasn't rebellious or difficult. It was observant. Your nervous system noticed subtle things others ignored, tone that felt sharp, expectations that felt conditional, environments that required you to shrink. While others adapted easily, your body hesitated. This hesitation wasn't weakness. It was sensitivity paired with self-preservation. Before you had language, your system was already assessing emotional safety. It sensed when belonging required self-erasure. That part of you stayed alert, even when fitting in would have been easier. Over time, this awareness can feel isolating. You may have wondered why you couldn't relax the way others did. Why you felt different without knowing how to explain it. But not fitting in was often a signal, not a flaw. Your nervous system was responding to mismatch between who you were and what the environment demanded. That response shaped identity, boundaries, and mental health more than you realized. That part wasn't trying to keep you apart. It was trying to keep you intact. 2. You learned to adapt, but that part refused to disappear. Many people survive by adapting. They adjust tone. They soften needs. They become agreeable. You may have learned to do this too, to belong just enough. But the part of you that never fit in didn't vanish. It went quiet. That part held tension when you were performing. It felt tired when you were pretending. It resisted environments that asked you to be less alive, less honest, less yourself. This inner split can be exhausting. One part adapts to survive. Another part waits to be recognized. Over time, this creates confusion around identity. You may feel fragmented, unsure which version of you is real. Healing begins when you stop forcing alignment with places that require adaptation at the cost of authenticity. The part that never fit was not being stubborn, it was being truthful. And truth, when ignored, becomes fatigue. 3. Not fitting in shaped how safe you felt being seen. When you repeatedly feel out of place, the nervous system learns caution. Visibility becomes risky. Expression becomes calculated. You may have learned to stay quiet in groups, to observe rather than participate, to keep certain parts of yourself hidden. This wasn't shyness, it was regulation. Your system was trying to reduce exposure. For mental health, this matters deeply. Feeling unseen is painful, but feeling unsafe while seen is worse. The part of you that never fit often chose distance over danger. As an adult, this may show up as social exhaustion, emotional withdrawal, or discomfort in spaces that expect sameness. You may crave belonging while simultaneously bracing against it. That tension isn't contradiction. It's memory. The body remembers environments where fitting in cost too much. 4. That part carried intuition, not defect. What never fit often carried clarity. It sensed when values didn't align, when pace was too fast, when emotional depth wasn't welcome. This intuition may have been dismissed early on. You may have been told you were too sensitive or overthinking. Over time, you may have doubted your own perception. But that part was reading reality accurately. It noticed when belonging required compromise of inner truth. It resisted flattening itself to be acceptable. This is not a defect. It is discernment. Reclaiming that part means trusting your internal signals again. Trusting that discomfort often points toward misalignment, not inadequacy. Healing happens when intuition is honored rather than corrected. 5. Integration begins when you stop forcing belonging. The deepest shift happens when you stop asking, "How do I make myself fit?" and start asking, "Where do I not need to disappear?" Belonging is not created through effort. It emerges through safety. The part of you that never fit doesn't need to be fixed or trained to belong everywhere. It needs environments where its sensitivity, depth, and pace are welcome. When you listen to that part, the nervous system softens, decisions become clearer, emotional regulation improves. You stop betraying yourself for connection. Belonging stops being something you chase and becomes something you recognize. That part of you was never trying to isolate you. It was guiding you toward alignment. 6. The part that never fit was never meant to disappear. The part of you that never fit in was not an obstacle to overcome. It was a signal. It carried awareness when others adapted. It held truth when environments asked for silence. And it stayed present even when belonging required self-erasure. Over time, you may have tried to correct this part, to quiet it, soften it, or reshape it so life would feel easier. But what it was protecting was your integrity. It was preserving a sense of self that could not survive in spaces that were misaligned. Healing begins when you stop negotiating with that part and start listening to it. Not to isolate yourself, but to understand where your nervous system feels safe and where it does not. When that understanding deepens, belonging stops being forced and starts being chosen. This content is for educational and reflective purposes only. It is based on real-life experiences and personal growth journeys, shared to invite awareness, not conclusions. We encourage kind, respectful discussion and constructive comments. In the next reflection, Why You've Always Felt Different, we will explore how sensitivity, awareness, and nervous system attunement shape identity, and why feeling different often points to perception, not deficiency.